What's up? What's up, Prove It Nation? Better Starts here, friends, family, and everyone that's joining us. Hey, Miss Keisha, super excited to be here with you and every single person. I see some gorgeous faces. If you are in a place to turn on your camera, we always love cameras. So that way we can see you because we're going to feed off your energy. And so we are going to have a lot of fun tonight. And for those of you that I haven't met yet, my name is Carrie. I live here in wonderful, gorgeous, amazing Las Vegas, Nevada. And I see so many friends and so many new friends here. And I'm just super grateful to be able to spend this time with you. Just a little bit about me. Born and raised in Vegas. Been drinking ketones since September 2017. Started sharing it shortly thereafter. So we're over 5 years. This product, this company, this opportunity has completely, totally changed my life and has put me on a trajectory for greatness as far as I'm concerned. And part of those tools that I got to learn before even being a part of this community, we're going to go over today. So double check that participants list. If you see somebody that's supposed to be here with you, make sure to shoot them a quick text and say, hey, where you at? Jump on this. This is being recorded. This will be shareable. And we're going to keep this just really fun, high energy, because like planning your goals and having broad vision and visualizing your future, deciding what your life is going to look like. I personally believe it to be fun. If you believe in fun, drop the number 1 in the chat. If you believe in not having fun, well, you're gonna have fun, and we're gonna have an absolute blast. Look at those ones. And it's this is a free space to do and achieve and have whatever it is you want. It may not be today. You know, I was just on the phone with Coach Becca, if you know her, this morning, and we were talking about like the lives we're living today are the things we used to dream about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Like what's in my life, that what I'm going through today isn't by accident. It's the power of goal setting. It's the power of visualization. It's the power of deciding what your future is instead of waiting for it to show up. And so that's what we're going to be here to do with you today. And if you're watching this recording, make sure you message, or even those that are live, message the person that shared ketones with you or someone that you're working with, and just tell them thank you. Like tell them thank you for exposing you to the opportunity of not just building a business, not just treating it like a business, but also to step into the better version of yourself. You know, we're on the journey to better. We're not on the journey to the best, which is, to me, it's an absolute. We're on that journey to better. And even like Lakeisha and I going back and forth and preparing for here, like our friendship got better in this process of being able to spend this time with you. And I'm grateful for that as well. So, you know, double check your friends as they're here with you. If you invited some family members, if you have a house full, fantastic. If not, use this recording to do that. So without further ado, I do get to co-host tonight with an amazing friend of mine, Miss Keisha Leilani, formerly of San Diego, now of Las Vegas. She's exactly a 37-minute drive from my house because there's no easy way to get there from here. Keisha and I got to meet at a Prove It event, I'm sure, at some point over the last 5 years, maybe the last couple years, and now getting to be in-town neighbors. It's just really fun. But this opportunity to host this Zoom came up. We both raised our hands and we're like, you want to do that? Sure. You want to do this? How do you want to do it? Well, we're going to do it just to our strengths and our greatness. And then we have a special guest for you once we get into the middle of it. But Miss Keisha, an amazing community leader in our team. What's up? How's it going? How are you? Say hi to everyone. Thank you for pumping that music too.
I mean, I think music really just sets the tone for energy a lot
Yes.
of times. So I'm turning it on, and if you want to shut it off, feel free. But thank you so much for a great introduction, Carrie. I'm really excited to see a lot of your faces on here. I'm really excited for the new year. Raise your hand if you're ready to be done with 2022. It's been a rough few weeks over here in the Rutherford household. We've pretty much all been sick for, I swear, since Thanksgiving. So if you can relate, type it too. But that being said, my name's Keisha. Like he said, I live here in Vegas. We go part-time to San Diego. So we do the San Diego living and Vegas living. I'm a mom of 2 toddlers, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And also a bonus mom to a 6 and 8-year-old. Love them to dear life. And honestly, like my mission in life is just to be a role model for them and create a legacy behind me to show them like what's possible. I know for most of my life, dreams were shunned on or were looked upon, frowned upon. And so I really had a hard time dreaming big. If that's you, raise your hand. Like dreaming to make $2,000 a month, 500 a month, 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, and not even the money, like dreaming to contribute to a local charity or time, right? Volunteer for places in your local area. I didn't have that because I had somebody in my life negatively in my head telling me I couldn't have all those things or do those things. So as we're doing this vision board, I wanted to start off with a 60 second, that would be a long time. Mitch is like, no, 60 seconds to just take a breath in, close your eyes. So right now I'm gonna give you an opportunity to close your eyes and inhale super big and exhale. And then we're going to go to a calm state, and we're not, obviously the emotions are still there, right? From whatever has happened in the past, but this is going to be a very intentional call. Carrie and I talked about that. Like, we want to set the tone of this call to actually really give what you have and dream again. You know, some of us, and you guys can keep closing your eyes and keep thinking about what is it like to dream? And if that negative thought comes your way of like, yeah, but my dad said this and my mom said this, and oh yeah, that person in high school really traumatized me. Like I could never be that talented rock star on stage or whatever it is. Yes, you can. You guys, we are in a world of so much hate and bullying right now. We have an opportunity to shift that and reset the intention going into 2023. And I am so privileged to do this here with Carrie. I feel like our energies are aligned so well with this, and we really truly care and have set some time aside to actually pour into you guys, and really hope that you have come in with these intentions to really believe in yourself and have faith and have trust, and that the mentors along the way and the leaders and our guest speaker are here to really give you some nuggets and knowledge and advice that maybe someone in your life that you wish parents, sister, brother, family, friends would have given you, and we're going to give that to you. So I don't know if that was more than 60 seconds. So here we go. We are going to go ahead and start. Carrie, if you want to, do you want to go ahead and go over any, you guys all got the checklist for the vision board, what we're doing whether you want to do poster board because you like to write and draw and color and markers and the glue and the hot glue stick, like do it. I know there's a lot of pen and paper type people here. The goal of this is to have it visually on your fridge, in front of you, on your desk, on your wall, so you can see it every single day and start to believe it. Because sometimes it's the belief that gets you to the next step in your life or the next goal or whatever that is, right? And if you have it right in front of you, you're more than likely going to obtain it and believe it more every single day. So I'll give it to you, Carrie, if you want to start. I'm fired up.
Fired up. I love it. I love it. Yes. So the thing is, pick one avenue and run with it. Just like own your zone, right? So Keisha talked about I've made plenty, and I didn't go get them out of the storage or my old office yet, but I made plenty of like on poster board. So if that's you, own it. Like, or if you don't have your poster board right now and you want to do this along with us, then that's where the second option of using Canva or using whatever tool that you want. Pinterest, if you ever made a Pinterest board, go create an account on Pinterest, go on there and like put things on. You can literally create boards. That's what they call them on there. Or what Christina Martinez Williams shared with me is use your photo album. Go on Google Images, go onto your life, save pictures and put them in an album. And when you find yourself doing something or doing nothing, like remind yourself that, oh, wait, I can dream. Right? Something that Keisha said, but she didn't quite say it completely, is it is safe to dream here. It is safe to be what you want. And Keisha brought up those people in our past that did not support us or did not empower us. Well, let me be that person to say, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You can have whatever it is that you want to have. It's already yours. It's up to you to go claim it. And that's what we're here for. So regardless of it's a poster you can hold or touch or one you're going to make, I'm going to make one digitally and then print it at Walgreens, because I can print posters at Walgreens down the street for $30. right? So I can design it, give it the perfect aesthetic, how it's going to fit my office, how it's going to fit my dreams, and what my plan is for 2023 and beyond. And then I'm going to go on walgreens.com and upload that picture. And then that's going to allow for me to have it. So I'll have it digitally and I'll have it tangibly, right? Tangible in my hand, something I can touch, feel, and smell. So however it is that you're doing it, I'm gonna pop some links to, if you haven't opened something on or opened
Real
up.
quick, how many of you is the first time doing a vision board? Type 1, very first time. Oh my gosh, lots of you. This is amazing. A quick story for you, and Carrie was actually there in San Diego, and I don't know if you remember this story from Jody, but Jody and Britton, specifically Jody, I don't know if Jody's on, had never done a vision board. And there was about 200 people in our house, and we had scissors and magazines that were donated to us. Like, it was crazy. And what she shared, she was like, it was so hard for her to actually put that cabin that she wanted to take her family to, or put whatever memory she wanted to go build with her family, or nice car or house or whatever it was, because she felt like it was selfish and that she felt guilty for it. So I try to say that because, like, this is not a place for you to feel that way. This is a place to seriously, like, dream big. Like, don't feel guilty, or don't feel like you're not deserving of having whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be materialistic. Maybe it's just gifting people $500. Maybe it's actually giving your mom or dad a place to live, or something, or food for somebody, you know, like an extra whatever. So all of that can go on your vision board. So I say that because I see a lot of you guys nodding your head, like, yeah, like, that was me. Like, I didn't think I deserved to make what I make. Sometimes that still haunts me, and I have to be like, wait, rain check, you know, like, it's just, you have to be careful when you're doing this, because Jody didn't put anything on her board that entire I think we were like there for 5 hours, because she didn't think she was deserving of having any of it. So
yeah, and actually that was my second Prove It event, my first team event. Thank you for bringing that up. Just a quick story about it. I threw a friend of mine in my car, drove the 5.5 hours like that day to go to Rutherford's house, and then turned around and left afterwards. Didn't even spend the night in San Diego. But that allowed for me. That's when I made the choice. And I'll talk just in business, was like, that's when I knew that I was going to achieve rank 6 by the summer of 2018. And May 31st, 2018, that's when we first as a team achieved that rank 6 title, right? Now, did it have everything to do with my work ethic? For sure. But I already decided on December 31st, 2017, that that's what was going to happen, right? So it's not, as Keisha, thank you so much for bringing that up. Like, and we're going to hear from our guest speaker on the powers of visualization, but think about your feelings too. What do you want to feel in 2023? What kind of relationships do you want to have? Do you want to be more honest with yourself? Do you want to be more honest with your partner? Do you want to be more honest with the people around you? Do you want to meet more strangers? Do you want to take strangers and make them friends? Do you want to take your friends and make them family? Like, that's what we get to do here. So it's not just the cabin. It's also, Jody may have not put that cabin on there. However, I know that as my friend, and she's my friend, that she loves spending time with her kids, right? So that was a destination for her to spend time with her family, to give that experience to her family. Oh, she is here. Cool. Awesome. And it goes on and on and on and on. So you may think about that and go, I don't want to own a cabin. Well, fine, don't own it, but like, where you want to go? Are you a city person? Are you a mountain person? Are you an ocean person? Are you a country person? Like this is your space to be selfish. Like, what do you want? This is a space to empower yourself and make choices for yourself that allow for you to go after it, right? Whatever it is totally up to you. And I want to say too, I remember we did one of these in 2009. And one of the girls on our team and the company that we were in then, she just wanted a triple wide mobile home, right? Because she lived in a double wide and she had 4 kids and she wanted a triple wide. That was her biggest dream. She had no desire for a 15,000 square foot house with maids and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. None of that. She wanted a triple wide because she wanted an extra room just for her. And that's what? That's totally fine. It's totally great. But make those choices, level up. You know, we talk about inside our Prove It community about being 1% better every single day. Well, this is an opportunity for you to be 1% better while looking at what 3% better might look like, or 100%, but you decide what that is. But don't put limits on your dreams. The dream world is infinite. Who's ever had a dream that you've been flying, or you had super strength, or you had laser eyes, or you had like something? If you had, like, drop a 1 in the chat. If you've had like a crazy dream that you wake up going, oh my gosh, like, what was that?
Yeah.
It just kind of confused, like, or that you live somewhere else, or that you were somewhere else, or you were someone else. If you've ever had a dream like that, guess what? That just shows that you have the capacity to dream big, to literally fly. I've fallen out of my bed because I fell out of the sky in my dream. Now, that may not be you too, and that's okay. If you're not one of those people that don't remember your dreams, that's okay. You get to dream while you're awake now. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of what we're set up to do. And I really, 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 in the next 20, 30 minutes or so, want you to make something. So whether you're pasting or gluing or using Canva on your phone or Canva on your computer, I really, really want you to walk away from this time with intention and having something you can hold, print out, look at on your phone, make your wallpaper, whatever the case may be. So here's a few, Miss Amber Horn made a few templates, updated a few templates inside of Canva, and I'll drop this in the event as well, but I wanted to put it right here. If you just need a place to start, Canva is amazing. It's an amazing tool that makes it simple. My dogs are losing their minds. So if mom's out there, or if you have any puppies, like, I hear you, I see you. And it's because I'm on the phone with you, because I'm here hanging out with you. But open up something, whether you're using Pinterest or go to Google Images and then start searching for things. You can even find like already made vision boards on there. Somebody else made, you go, oh yeah, I forgot I wanted to do that. That's where I get a lot of inspiration from you. And then after we hear from our special guest, I want to see some of the things that we're making too.
Yeah, so, you can do pictures, you can do quotes, you can do personal affirmations,
words, quote, all those things.
Dreaming or goals. There's no wrong way to do it. So try not to, I know some of you guys that are so hard on yourself, try not to be hard on yourself. This is a fun project, but here's mine from 2022 or 2020. And I'm showing you this because a lot of this stuff didn't happen yet. It didn't, but that didn't discourage me throughout the year. And oh my God, November, December, and I haven't taken my trip to Europe or Italy. Things happen, right? Big pandemic. There was no, going to Italy. But if I look at this, it's crazy to see what I have accomplished on this in 2 years. Women's retreat, over 5,000 friends on Facebook, family trip to Hawaii, the diamond ring and diamond earrings I wanted, $5,000 each in my kids' savings account. I double, tripled that, give over 5,000 to a local charity. Do you guys kind of see like what the things I'm creating to visualize for myself and my family? And it can be anything. Do my blog website design. What else? Own a cabin in Colorado. It's actually North Carolina. So there's a lot of things on here that have come true, but it took a little bit. So as you're going throughout the year 2023, don't try not to get so discouraged halfway through the year or months before December and be like, that thing didn't work. No, like this is an ongoing, process and journey. So just keep that in mind as you guys are doing vision boards as well.
So good. So good. All right. Well, you're going to be working while I invite our special guest to come on and share with us. And so do that, because when we come down, there's not a test, right? There's no pass or fail in this, but I really, 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 for this time that we're together, or as you're watching this, like, be intentional with this next 15, 20 minutes and get something together. Like, give yourself that space to actually dream and create, because that's a foundation, that's a cornerstone in what your future can look like. But let me unpin. I'm like, wait, why is Keisha still up here? Cool. And let me introduce this young gentleman, this amazing human. We got connected in November of 2017 for the first time, and ever since then, he's been the kind of the consciousness of Prove It and the mindfulness of our community. And Mr. Mitch Newman has spent invested thousands of hours into what it means to be just a well-rounded human being. Like, inside of this business, like, we all have individual businesses. We're here to make money, but also because of the type of business that we're in, we get to change lives at the same time. And Mitch's, one of his cornerstones that I've allowed inside of me is to, number one, take care of myself, but number two, there's a mindfulness to everything, and there's a thought process to it all. And when we get to experience those things and give those things permission to exist, what happens in our lives is absolutely stunning. So Mr. Newman, all the way from, I don't remember where, Palm something, 29 Palm Springs, something like that, in California. How are you this evening, my brother? So good to see you, and welcome on.
I am splendid. Thank you for having me. I am in Indian Wells, California. I'm about 25 minutes east of Palm Springs, out here in the desert. Super quiet, super really cool place to manifest and create lots of good stuff. I've been involved in Prove It since I guess pretty much the very beginning. July of 2015, it was a couple months before, a month and a half before we actually opened the door to customers and started to reveal some of the performance reward plan and what this was all going to look like. And Prove It was something that was part of, for me, I was manifesting. I didn't know it was Prove It. I didn't know what it was going to look like. And the difference was, and this is the power of really what we get to do here in this process. And I'm going to actually, if it's okay with Keisha and Karen, I'm going to go a little bit deeper here on this. Is that cool? Okay. So one of the things that, excuse me, when I first came on board, I had been meditating and seeing myself as whole, well, and complete, and saw myself standing on a stage delivering my message to thousands of people. And what that took was what we would reference, as my mentor would reference, as a strong intention, right? A really strong idea and thought process with an elevated emotion. So in order, if you think about anything that you've ever done, there is an intention and an emotion that follows. And how we are in that place will determine whether or not, it could be something that we find uplifting. It could be something that could also pull us down. But there's always those two components going on. So the goal when you are manifesting, and whether you're doing a vision board or anything else that you're calling into your life, is to elevate have the thought and elevate your emotion to match the thought. So you actually see it, feel it, and experiencing it in your body as if it's already here. And when you're doing that, so if you see a picture that really resonates strongly with you, that you're going through a magazine, really speaks to your heart, really lifts you up, then that's going to be the type of stuff that you're going to want to focus on. If you see a word or a phrase that's going to be something that maybe is really powerful for you, maybe it's a word that becomes your word for the year, word for the month, whatever that is. You always want to make sure that your thought process and your elevated emotion are matching, because when you're in that place, your brain and your body don't know the difference between whether or not it's happened before, happened in the future, or happening now. It just assumes everything is happening in the moment. So for me, I kind of move away from this concept, and I know you guys have been using it a lot, and which is perfectly fine. But I move away from, because I have an association, like for me, I have an association of dreams. It's something I do when I'm sleeping, and when I'm awake, I'm manifesting. So I kind of separate the two, because a lot of times, and I found this just over 2 decades plus of coaching, is that when people have dreams about stuff, right? When they have dreams about stuff, it usually signifies somewhere down the road. My dream is to one day. So what happens is, as soon as you start to go there and you think of it as a dream, you're now separating yourself from the experience. And what you're actually doing is you're creating that something that you're perceiving that you need, something that's missing in your life. And that brings us to the word lacking. So something is lacking in my life. I need it. So I'm going to dream about it to get it one day. This process in taking it to the next level is elevating your emotion to match the experience so that it's happening right now. so that you're ultimately, it is so apparent to you that you're in it. It's so apparent to you that this is the experience that you're having, that you're no longer caring whether or not it actually occurs or not, because it's already here. Because the future, if you think about it, every present moment was once the future. Just think about what I just said 5 seconds ago. It was in the future. So the key is how do we make the most of our future by making the most of our moments? So if we separate out the idea that our brain can't tell the difference between an event that we are imagining would happen or an event that once did happen, that we can actually recall it and create it, then now the goal is to take this concept of a vision board, to be able to post pictures, words, phrases, everything that Carrie and Keisha were talking about, in such a way that when you see them, and you want to keep it visible, you want to always have it visible. So you don't, to me, it's not something you just create and tuck away. You want to see it every day. You want to look at it every day. You want to put it someplace where you know you're going to glance at it multiple times a day, because you're going to keep it in the forefront of your mind. And what you're doing in that moment is you're reminding yourself that it's already here. That it's already here, that you're not focused on, well, because as soon as we create that separation, you're basically saying to the universe, something is lacking in my life. And man, you have so many resources and you have so much going for you, every single one of you, I promise you, that when you start to see the difference and the differences in what I'm saying, and you start moving away from this kind of one day, this will happen, or, because I've seen it, we've all been here. The people that have been here 5, 6, 7 years, they've had people who set the intention and they go, well, I'm going to be, rank 6 by the next event. And they tell everybody as a way of accountability. And then they don't hit rank 6. And then they don't want to go to the event. Now they're backing away from the event because they feel shame and embarrassment that they didn't do what they said they were going to do. Listen, when I first came on board at Prove It, I said to myself, I looked at what is the top rank in Prove It? And I opened up the back office and I scrolled all the way down. And I saw it was legend. And I saw the sheer number of zeros that were involved in getting to legend. And all of a sudden I felt a separation between myself and legend, that this was a dream of mine, right? This could be a dream of mine. Somewhere down the road, I'm going to hit legend. And I was so intimidated by the zeros that I said, no, I'm not playing this game. I've already done this game. I've already mastered this game of creating somewhere down the road. I decided in that moment that I was a legend. I didn't focus on anything but the feeling of what it was going to feel like when I became a legend. And I focused on the thought of actually hitting it and being elevated to that position by, lots and lots of people, thousands and thousands of people. So I became in that point. So my daughter used to say to me every month, she said, Daddy, what rank are you? And I go, I'm a legend. And she kind of looked at me like, at this time, like a little bleary eyed, like I could see her eyes like moving around in her head. But I thought Michael Rutherford was a legend. I go, yeah, he is. Okay. And like, she's looking at me like I'm completely nuts, but I was so completely embedded in it. And I was so embedded in it that I didn't even care. I didn't even focus on what do I have to do to hit it? What do I have to do? I just went out and helped people because I genuinely give a shit about people. And I wanted to help other people and lift them up and make their world better. That's what my focus was. And then one day I hit legend. I got elevated to legend. I wasn't any different than I was the second before, 5 minutes before, a day before, an hour before, or an hour after. I was still me. It didn't mean that like, oh my God, my life is going to change now. Oh my God, this is amazing. Like, oh, no, I acknowledged what the experience was. Somebody said, well, what did you do? I said, well, honestly, the coolest part of that moment for me was we ordered in from Chipotle, and my daughter, when she ordered, put my name down as legend. So I get this burrito that says legend on it. That was like, to me, the most exciting part of it, to be quite frank and honest with you. full transparency. The other stuff was like, people would call and say, hey, congratulations. And I say, hey, thank you for elevating me to that position. Very cool, awesome, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't feel any different than the first day, literally the first day I decided I'm a legend. So when we can stop separating ourselves and creating a space between where we are and what we want or what we think we need or what we think we have to suddenly like our life is going to be better, and start embracing the future in the present moment right now, then all of a sudden you're looking at these pictures every day that you've printed out or cut out and you've posted. You're looking at these words every day and you're reminding yourself that you already have that. It already exists inside of you, that you're not separate from that. Because I've coached too many people who thought they were going to hit certain ranks and then all of a sudden their life was going to change, and then it didn't. They still had the same thoughts. They still had to go clean up after their dog in the backyard. They still had to deal with the kids screaming in the background. It didn't change. So when you know who you are now, and all this vision board becomes, is a reminder of who you already are, then you're less attached to the actual event actually happening. Because as you heard Keisha say, she thought about having a cabin in a certain state, turned out to be in another state. She thought about, something that she put out there, and it actually didn't come to pass. Wasn't the timing right? Wasn't whatever. It didn't mean anything more or less than what it was. Because if you look at it after a certain point, you go, I can't believe, none of this stuff has happened, or I can't believe this didn't happen. I really wanted this to happen. Then what you're doing is you're living your life based on the fact that things are missing. And the only thing that's missing is the love that you need to have for yourself and that you need to have for other people. And when you focus on that, then all of a sudden those words come to life. They jump off the page, whatever you're posting it on. Those phrases jump off the page. Because what they are, in those pictures, whether it's you sitting on an island someplace, or whether it's you, spending time with your kids or whatever it is, what that vision board becomes is a mirror for who you already are. It's a mirror for who you already are. So have fun with this process, as Carrie was talking about, Keisha was talking about. Enjoy it, dig in, dig deep, but really spend time with it and just really allow yourself to understand that you are not separate from what it is that you think you want. Decide that. Give the gift to yourself to have it right now, and it will be, and I always say this, it'll always be, I would say this or something better for the highest good of all concerned. It may not be in your highest good to get certain things that necessarily appear, but if you embody the energy of that, then something else and something better will take its place. And you'll look back and you'll go, oh, it's really interesting. I thought I wanted this. And then all of a sudden, look what showed up. Why? Because you set the intention, because you elevated your emotions to match the experience as if it's already happening. Why? Because it is. There is nothing that is separate from you and lacking in your life. It's just not. And the more we operate that way and we're trying to go get things, we stop being who we are. We stop thinking that we're somehow we're separate and apart from this thing that we want. Let that vision board become a mirror to reflect back who you are. That's what I got, guys.
Holy
so good.
cannolis. Yeah, go for it, Keisha.
I mean, basically what we said, but in a way deeper way. And I'm like, oh yes, that's what I meant. He said it perfectly. Good thing we have a good communication leader here on this Zoom. Thank you, Mitch. That was absolutely incredible. And I don't know about you guys, but I literally have goosebumps, and I'm pumped for 2023. I think that 2022 has taught us a lot. Can I get an amen? And I think 2023 is time to get up, give up, and grow up. Mitch has told me over, grow the F up. Like, you're so right. So how's everybody doing so far on their vision boards? Good. Anyone stuck? Anyone having some challenges with like, oh God, I want to put that on there, but I just don't know if I really want that, or like any of those challenges? All right, your 2023 is going to be rocking. I love it. Go ahead, Carrie.
Let's see. Okay, so Georgette says just overwhelmed. Where are you, Georgette? Is your camera on? Come off of mute and let's talk. Talk to me about that. Like when you say overwhelmed, what do you mean?
Well, I had ideas before, and then after listening to you guys, it's like, oh man, those are great. It's like I've got too much. I'm trying to figure out how to fit it all on there.
Put
Yeah.
it all in there. All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
put it on.
limits.
Carrie,
And
Carrie,
who's that? Go for it.
Georgette started yesterday.
Oh,
Oh, welcome.
She's my
well,
new
yeah.
promoter,
Thank you.
I
I'm
love
also
it.
from Las Vegas.
and she's in Las Vegas.
well, I love that too. So we got we got a little triad going on here. So, I mean, overwhelmed, and Mitch is still here probably, and he can chime in on this. Overwhelmed just means you got a lot of good stuff going on,
Yeah.
right? Or just a lot of stuff. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be bad. It could just be a thing, right? And so,
Yeah.
like Keisha said, put it all on there. However, start with one. Start with one thing. So when you think about what do you want from in your life? And I love how Mitch said it, Georgette, and this is to everybody, but right now Georgette's talking specifically to you. Mitch said this is a mirror, right? This is the future is going to be here. Today was the future yesterday, right? I know it's a little esoteric, a little big idea, but pick one thing. In 2023, it's for me a low-hanging fruit, a simple thing is where do I want to go? What kind of experience do I want to have? We live in the greatest city in the world, right? So it's hard to measure up on experiences, right? Everybody comes here for shows, people come here for all this stuff, and for me it's my backyard. So I'm kind of laissez-faire, about going and experiencing things. But where Emily and Mark and Coach Becca, where they live, I love going there because they live in the sticks.
Yeah.
They live in the middle of
Where maybe there's greenery.
Yeah, where there's trees everywhere, not just ones that we plant in our yards, because otherwise it was just dirt. And so I enjoy, that's part of my regular plan is I love being in the forest. I don't want to live in one because there's bugs and there's snow and there's all sorts of other crazy things up in New Hampshire. I have no desire to live there, but I don't mind going there, right? And when I made a decision 6 years ago on a vision board for 2016, even before Prove It, was I'm going to have a national business that takes me all over the place. Well, guess what? This year, I said that. I didn't know what that was going to look like, but I said that. And this year I was on 63 different planes. I don't even remember some of the places that I went because there's just been so many, right? So, but that comes from a decision and putting one thing, starting with one thing. So it's called June bug. I learned this term is called June bugging. It's for people that are a little neurodivergent or can easily feel overwhelmed. Is instead of talking about I'm going to fill my vision board, start with one corner. Start with one corner. What's a quote that you like? Start there. What's a word that you like? Start there.
And there's, to add to that, Carrie, there's categories too that could help break that down. So for instance, spiritual, maybe you start there, maybe your health, maybe it's weight loss, maybe it's energy, maybe it's some of the things ketones give you. Maybe it's financial, right? Maybe you want to pay off credit card, maybe you want to pay off school loans, maybe you want to, whatever, charities. Career driven, where do you want to be with your career? If that's Prove It, then put that on there. And like Mitch had said, with the legend thing, the rank 6 thing, don't let that discourage you to not show up and keep going if it doesn't be obtained by the end of the year, right? Family, what is it you want to put on there about your family? For me, it's going on a family cruise, a Disney cruise, right? Or for me, it's giving a percentage of my check to my kids so they have wealth as they grow up, right? Romance, where do you want to improve with your romantic life? It's true, but what could you do to better yourself to help you attract the spouse or the significant other that you desire to have, or you should, you want? Personal growth, right? We all can use personal growth. And then maybe experiencing joy. How do you experience joy? What makes you happy? I struggled with that this year, to be honest with you guys. What truly makes Keisha happy? I travel, I have an amazing family, but And that's all like fun and it is joyful, but the deepness of that, and Mitch, we can talk later about like what truly makes Keisha happy. And if you get to the deep rooted cause of that, there's powerful things that can come from that and the way that you can actually inspire and impact more people on that level. So I hope that gives you some
It did.
more,
Thank you.
guidance.
Thank
I do have a goal checklist too, and I'm happy to share this with you guys. But again, we don't want to overwhelm you. It's just getting started. There's no wrong way to do it. I mean, you could post a puppy if you want. I've always wanted a puppy on there. You might not get a puppy this year, but maybe you do in 3 years. Like just whatever it is that, you have always dreamt of having. Is your goal specific? States exactly what you want to achieve or do, sorry. Is your goal measurable? Can you clearly measure if you have attained your goal? Is your goal attainable? Is within your control or influence to reach that goal? Is your goal time bound? You have a time in which you will work to accomplish a goal, right? So I think Mitch had mentioned it a little bit, like we talk about inspired action, right? Well, these goals don't come true if you're not doing the action to get towards that goal, right? Whether it's us reaching out to people to talk about ketones, whether it's us, for me, like this is a great example. I'm doing a women's mastermind here in Vegas, has nothing to do with ketones or prove it, but it's something that I've always been passionate about. And I had to start somewhere. Terrified. It's in January, super terrifying for me because I question myself as a woman of empowerment, a woman of leadership, like the thoughts that I tell myself, right? That I can't do that, or who do I know that could help me? And I just started plugging away and I started asking and finding resources of people that could help guide me, right? Like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of shooting a dart at it, hoping that it will stick. And it could be a complete flop, right? Like no one could show up. Now, I don't think that's the case. I'm pretty positive about how it's going to turn out. However, if I don't put that as a vision or a goal for myself and actually make it happen, then it's just going to be something I talk about and I don't walk about, and I truly have to learn along the way. And even if I fail, for it flops, I learned and I grew, right? And so just remember that as you guys are putting your guys's goals up on there. Is your goal, does it align with your top priorities? You can remain congruent with your top priorities and work to achieve this goal. Is your goal written in the present tense? Like, is your goal written as if it was already achieved and part of your current identity? And is your goal, does your goal inspire you and excite you? Sometimes I find that when people do these, they put other people's goals on, whether it's their spouse or their family members, or that's what my kids want me to have. No, what is it that you want? What is the thing that's going to make you fulfilled and feel joyful and feel empowered or feel joy, So I hope that helps too.
That was so good. Thank you for that, Keisha. And what popped into my head was like not just being in specific in the goal, but in the timeline. And like as Mitch's example, that story that he was saying about, I will be ranked 6 by the next event. Well, I made that promise, right? I made that promise in December 31st, 2017, that by the next event, well, not the next one, because that was epic, but there was this event called Keto Academy More. It's a duo event. It's going to take place the second to last weekend of May. And I sat down and I like numbers. I like thinking about things and how this goes. And so I looked at my volume for December and it was like 1,400, right? And I was like, okay, well, I take that and I double it. And then I double it and I double it and I double it. And by May, I'll have the volume requirement for champ, right? Like, I'm like, that's easy. Like I can go times two. And it's fantastic. Well, the event came here and I was sitting at not champ. And so guess what? I went to that event and I celebrated because it was at the Palace. If you've never been to an event at the Palace Theater, there's a staircase that the champs that we get to go meet in that room. Then we come down and it's very exciting. Like I wanted to be on that staircase so bad and I wasn't. That event I was not. But guess what? I was in the front of the crowd. I was there to celebrate all of those people that were champs and achieved champ from the time that I made the commitment to the time that I was at that event, not a champ. Right. And so I did not let it defeat me. All I did was I went and plugged into that energy and I was like, I want that. I want more. And I was still 50% of the way away from achieving that rank as a team. And so guess what? We went home and in a week we put in all the missing volume and that was that. And so I was like, cool, well, we still did it. It wasn't by the event, but I was already a champ. I just didn't get to do all the little champy things. I was like, this is the last time. This is the last time. And I allowed that to fill me. I allowed that to, and I reached out too. I reached up and I reached down and left and right and was like, okay, here we go. We're going to be a rank 6 team. We are going to do this because we want to be in the know, right? We want to do this together. And so we rallied hardcore and we just went and go and go and go and go. And so it still happened. It didn't happen in the timeline that I decided, but guess what? It did not stop me. Did not stop me from bringing everybody with me. And that was, golly, over 4 years ago, almost 4 years, or yeah, well, 5 years next year. And it's just been a truth that's been simple. So the decision is, I don't want to call it simple. It's definitely not easy, but it is a simple decision to say, this is what I want. This is what I want. And then how Mitch talks about like keeping it in front of you, like keep it in front of you. I am so guilty of, in my past, of deciding what I want and then ignoring it, like ignoring myself. That's just another form of sabotage, right? Because I decide, I know what I want, but then I just don't look at it that day, or I don't do this, or I don't do that. So instead of, for me, and to encourage you, think about the things you do want and keep those things in front of you. I'm going to hang it in my bathroom. I'm going to make it, I'm going to put it on my phone where I can see it. I'm going to hang it here on my desk behind me because this is my Zoom side and that's my work side of my desk, and allow for it. Give it permission. Give yourself permission to look at yourself as the better version of yourself. If you've been around Nick Martinez at all, or any of the ways that he talks about what does your perfect day look like 5 years from now, today, December 28th, 2028. When you wake up, what does your morning look like? Who's next to you? What's outside your window? Like, see these things, because when we look into the future, it's not that we don't have it. It's just not here yet, right? 5 years, 5 years from now, we'll never be here, because by the time 5 years is here, 5 years is still going to be another 5 years away. And so we get to decide what that looks like. And this is just a simple thing for you to think about your goals, align them with your vision. And all of this too is like, what work ethic are you going to put into it to actually create it? If you want a partner or a spouse or whoever that Keisha talked about, romance, if you want a romantic so-and-so, well, start sorting and sifting. Is sitting around and waiting, but know what you want. Know how you want to how to live your life. Like, decide what that person looks like. There's 8 billion people on this planet. All right. It doesn't, like, one way or the other. There's, if that's the thing for you to have that spouse, to have that partner, there's options. There's lots of options. If you have one, if you are already in a committed relationship, if you are married or whatever that looks like share your goals and dreams with them. Joy asked in the comments, what do I do? I'm making one for me, and then myself and my significant other, we're going to make one together. What does our life look like? What does your life look like? But then how does that all fit together? Because if you're doing life with someone, or you have your kids, how many moms in here, dads do we have in here? If you have offsprings, if you have nephews, if you have grandchildren, if you have these people that rely on you for some type of emotional support, financial support, whatever, dream with them. I'll tell Keisha right now, she's got 2 + 2, offspring, and dream with them. I would love to see what Jet's vision board looks like, because that kid's got a wild vision, right? He's got wild dreams. If you have one kid, dream with them. Emily, Olivia, so she can't exactly communicate everything just yet, but guess what? Get her to color on something. Let her pick pictures. Give her an either or. Know that that's part of her thing. If you have a spouse that supports you from a distance as well, and you have kids too that are that are your kids, bring the kids in and bring the spouse into it as well. Dream together. This might be your business. He or she may say, you know what, you do you. But however, wrap them into the dreams, because if they're going to give you the space to build this business and share this conversation, my opinion, the least that you can do is find out what they want from you doing this as well, because you're doing life with them. I'm currently raising 2 baby boomers as well, my mom and dad. For years, their lives have been part of my dream, because I wanted them to have more than what we had when I was a kid. I wanted them to be able to enjoy the rest of their lives instead of working their hands to the bone like they did years ago. There's mom. Hey, it's always so profound with her chimes in. Hey. But now I get to watch them enjoy their lives. Yes, they still work. Yes, they still do. You know, they share this conversation. Dad's a natural born hustler, and he's done some amazing things in my lifetime and even before I was born. But factor in those around you too. These are your dreams. This is your life. Yes. But include them, dream with them, invite them to dream and decide what that looks like. So we're just at the 50-minute mark. And I kind of want to put a bow on where we're going. Are there any questions? Are there any comments? Is there anything before we do that and we close out? Feel free to come off mute or just drop it in the chat. Because I want you to, both Keisha and I want you to like really, really, really do this. Like do this. We're going to create a thread inside of our Better Starts Here group. So that way, as you finish your boards or make them, that's where you can comment them in there. What are your goals for your business? What are your goals for your life? What are your, what is it? And the picture of it, comment it in there. So that way we as a community can support you. We can see it. Anything going on?
Have any of you guys got halfway through and maybe want to share it?
Yeah.
I'll maybe do one share or two shares real quick.
Sure thing.
And you can even talk about like what was going on in your head when you were putting stuff on there. Anyone want to share? You can raise your hand or unmute.
I did a motivation board last year, and it's the first thing I see when I wake up, and it helped so much. Now this year I'll do your vision board because I didn't do that. I did like a goal whiteboard, but I could erase and change things. But the motivation board, I mean, it's got things, like dream it, believe it, cross out impossible and make it able. I mean,
Love it.
That helped a lot for people who were told you can't do this, or you're not good enough. And that's what I was told growing up. And so this really motivated me.
Yep. In the past, you were told something that limited your possibilities, right? And anything you do, but prove it aside. And I think that one of the things that we could really level up and rise up on is that growth, and using our past as a way to actually empower and inspire us and impact other people, instead of it holding us down and holding us back from actually living our possibilities and our true self in life. And I think that a lot of us have had that, especially the more we share it. We're like, oh my God, that was me too. That's what my mom said to me. And that's what my dad said to me. And that's what, and I think that Mitch is a great person to talk to about this as well, to kind of help navigate that, because it doesn't ever go away. It's there. It's just almost like redirecting a different path to say, that's not the story I'm going to live and tell myself anymore. I'm rewriting the story. And that starts today. And that starts in 2023. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to those goals and to those dreams. And I'm going to utilize, because in Prove It, you guys have resources that could pile up for days, right? But if you have fear and you have past trauma and you have things that are holding you back, it's hard for you to actually take the action to go implement it, right? And apply it and to actually get to those goals and to the vision. So maybe we could do a call on that, Mitch. That would be a pretty powerful call. But I think that that's one thing that I've learned from myself is just navigating the stories, right? They're always stories and they're not real stories. They're stories that I've told myself that have limited me to be a better mom, to be a better spouse, to be a better leader, to be, whatever it is I want to show up in the world for myself, because of the past and the stories I told myself. So just know when you're putting this on there, you're in charge. You're in the driver's seat. No one else is. Not your mom, not your dad, not your ex-spouse, anyone that's saying, oh, that's silly. Like, why were you doing that stupid thing or whatever? We've all heard it. and you have the ability to change the way you do things, the way you think about what others say to you. And, I think it's powerful. So thanks for sharing that.
Isha, this is Adriana.
Hey.
Hi, I got through like half of mine. I was trying to figure out how to put it in the chat, but it won't let me. So do you want me to just screen share mine or?
Yeah, we could screen share. Does it ask you?
Oh, it won't let me. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out like how to put it in the chat because I would call mine like a rough draft. It's got like quite a bit in it, but it won't let me put it in the chat. I don't know.
Can you
Drop
Facebook?
the link in. If you drop the link in there, then people can click on it and
Oh,
view it.
Canva? Okay, I'll figure that out and I'll put it in the chat. Just give me a second.
So if you're making it in Canva too, yeah, so perfect. So if you're making it in Canva, where you would click share to or save this or download it, that'll give you a Canva link as well. And then you can get that link and you can post it into the chat. Then we can click on and see it. Or that'll be perfect too when we have the post up inside of our Better Starts here. But just for posterity, Adriana, just go ahead and like, what's some things that you put on there? Like
so like I said, it's kind of like a rough draft. So I kind of started from like left to right. So I kind of like made focus areas. So I started with like health things. So like just focusing better on like meal prep and eating better. Obviously the weight loss side for me has been really big. I'm drinking more water because I feel like you can just never have enough water. And then talking about just like bigger goals. So like traveling more. We moved to Florida in August, and that was a huge goal for us for 2022, and we accomplished that. So now our next goal being here in Florida is to buy a house. So that was on there. And traveling more. So that was another reason we moved.
Where are you going? Like where's a location that you want to travel to?
I am Italian. I actually have family in Italy that I've never met. So my goal is to go to Italy and see the family that I have talked to on Facebook for years and have never met in person. So that's
what town do they live in Italy?
They're in Sicily. So
in Sicily, okay.
Yeah.
So where in Sicily?
Oh, I don't know. I have to figure that out. They're kind of all over.
Yeah. Where are you going to stay? Is there an Airbnb that you found in Sicily that you have to go to?
No, and those are all things like I definitely have to think through. Yeah. But right now, like my main goal is get to Italy, right? Like that's my goal. So
yeah. Well, there's Little Italy in New York too. So, if we go to actual Italy,
we're talking actual Italy. So yeah, that, and then I put, sorry, my dog's freaking out. And then just traveling more, like in general, spending more time as a family. I also, for some reason, I've been like drawn to Sweden. I want to go see Sweden. I don't know why, but that's something I want to do. And then one thing I really always tell my kids is I have a 7, 5, and 4-year-old, and I always tell them like the things that we have, we work really hard for. So I put on here just out here raising entrepreneurs, because I want them to like also have that entrepreneurial spirit and like grow and see the hard work that my husband and I put into like our careers, and then also me with the private business. And so I want them to see that and then also build that that same thing. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then my other thing I had on here was like debt free. Like I'm trying to be debt free. We're almost there. We're so close, and that's like a huge goal for me for 2023 is to get there. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see your kids' vision boards as well. I think those are going to be really cool too.
Yeah. So I had that link in Canva. I'm trying to log in on my computer because I had the Canva open on my phone, but I'll share the link.
On the vision board for debt free, one of the things that I did, I think it was like 30 grand in debt before I started Prove It, is I was specific on where that debt was, a credit card, my student loan, how much I needed to be debt free. So maybe put the amounts to, knock off 5 grand for my student loan. Like it's very specific because it's more, again,
I love that.
You'll visually see it. So instead of just seeing debt free, you're actually seeing the number, and you're more than likely to do the activity to get to that number, to chop out that number. So yeah, don't be afraid to be specific. That's why Carrie was asking you, like, we're in Italy, like, because have a goal and it's very, I guess the word is vague or vague, then
Broad
yeah,
goal.
like
Right.
yeah, like if you have a goal to make money or extra money to help your family's income every single month, well, what does that amount look like? And if you made that extra $5,000 a month, what would that $5,000 a month do for your family? Would it put more food on the table or organic food on the table? Would it give you an opportunity to go to Disneyland as a family? Would it, so it's nice to have the specifics. So then you kind of like, it's almost like you can taste it and feel it and see it easier when you do.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we're at that hour mark. I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and not even for me, but for you. And Joy, I did see your question there, and just to address that, she asked real fast, do you focus on 2023 or longer, or dreaming too? There's things that I put on a vision board 10 years ago that still aren't here, right? There's that still haven't manifested just yet. It's just not here yet. It's for me. It's just not for me yet. And so that's given me space to do so much and still allow for those things to happen. And so, but for this exercise and for what we've got going on here, let's look at 2023 just as a kind of like a little box with a clear start and a clear ending. And what are the things that we really want to see in our mirror when we look at ourselves on this poster and decide like what we are. So thank you so much for being here. This is really fun for me. I forget that I absolutely love Zooming, and I love leading, and I love each and every single one of you. We're all on this journey to better. We get to do this together. We get to work together. We get to support each other. And look at, there's links. Amy, thanks for popping that link in there. And so look for In Better Starts Here. We're going to put up a post, or I'm going to put up a post. Well, the page will put up a post for you to comment on and share it in there. Mitch Newman, all the way from 20 minutes outside of Palm Springs. Thank you so much for Indian Wells.
Gary,
yeah.
Can for anyone that submits the vision board, because my blue is talking to me, can we do like a raffle? So everyone that submits a raffle or their vision boards by, we need a date by the 1st of January. Will be offered in a raffle, and I have stuff. I'm sure Nick has stuff. All of us have stuff that we can.
Yeah, it's like we'll
do ketones, you name it.
Yeah, I've got some goodies, and you've got some goodies for sure. Let's do that. So there will be that post inside of Better Starts Here, and you will comment on there a picture of what you've got going on. And between now and let's say January 1st by like 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. So that way you even have the time on the New Year's, because a lot of people have that day off, to get your dreams together. Like just get something together, and we'll go through and pull a couple people from the comments and send out some goodies. So I like that, Keisha. I think that'll be super fun. Yeah, that's that blue side, that sapphire side of like, let's just do it. Let's give things away and have a blast. So super cool. I love seeing these links come through. I'm whole, well, and complete. I don't know about you, Keisha, but I'm fired up. I'm gonna get this board done and go spend some time with some friends. So by January 1st, 2023, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, that's going to be the cutoff date. And so just look for that to hop into Better Starts Here this evening, and we'll have it pinned as well, so that way we can all have some fun and celebrate each other. And that's going to be, that's what we're going to do too. It's not just you posting it, it's you replying to at least 4 other people's vision boards as well. So I want to go see, not just creating something for you to be celebrated, but go celebrate your community members, because again, we get to do this together. You're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. Look to your left, look to your right. Even if your screens are muted, cameras are muted, there's somebody on here that is better because you showed up today. There's somebody better here, like that's just because you're smiling. Or even if you don't have your camera on, I know you're smiling, because why? I've decided that. I know that's a thing. So nobody else has told you today, I love you. I'm so grateful for you. I cannot wait to see how Better shows up in your life in 2023. And Ms. Keisha, you got anything to tack on there before we end this puppy?
It's a wrap, you guys. I'm happy. I'm excited. I hope you guys are. Tag at least one tag, or use at least one word that you want to use for your 2023 year. Mine is joy. So whatever that word is, put that on your board. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Very welcome. Y'all have an amazing, amazing night and Happy New Year.
Happy New